When Steve Dark arrived at the chaotic scene at LAPD headquarters, a burly row of uniforms yelled and tried to push him back. No access, no nothing. Don't care who you're with, don't care what you say. Dark calmly removed the cell phone from his jeans pocket, pressed a button, then showed the screen to the nearest cop. "Oh, okay," one of them mumbled, then parted to let him through. "Guys, he's okay, let him in." Dark still had his get-into-any-crime-scene free pass, courtesy of Lisa Graysmith. The digital image on his phone allowed him passage into pretty much any law enforcement perimeter in the world. It was a universal "cooperate with me or else" badge, with clearances at the highest level. Dark had received it in an instant, but he knew it could be just as easily taken away. He was led to the interrogation room, which had been rocked by the explosion. The blast, Dark could see, was brutal yet short range, meant to kill those in close proximity but not cause structural damage to the building. The rooms were too small, too well insulated. The blast would have nowhere to go but through them all. Dark thought about the flesh ripped from bone, the pulpy fragments of what used to be a human life splattered over the walls of the interrogation room. What happened? An LAPD crime scene investigator glanced at Dark's badge, then explained that the two detectives were in the same room with the suspect, a homeless man who'd carried a suspicious package. "Turns out the package wasn't the worry," the CSI said. "The guy was a living bomb. We're trying to pull enough together to figure out what type." "Where's the other package?" Dark asked. "Over in the forensics lab. Ask for Josh, Banner." "Yeah, I know him. Thanks." Dark had heard about the blast while making breakfast for his daughter. He immediately put on his headphones and tuned in to the police band for the details. A homeless man had showed up at LAPD headquarters with a package thought to be a bomb. But instead of the package exploding, the man did, killing 2 seasoned deputy chiefs and injuring 6. Within minutes, Dark was handing off his daughter to his mother-in-law and climbing into his Mustang, hell-bent for downtown. This was no ordinary terrorist incident. Ordinary terrorists don't leave mysterious packages behind. Steve Dark used to be a cop. The best of the best, working for the most elite manhunting unit in the FBI, Special Circumstances Division. He worked for Agent Tom Rickens, the man who'd carved Special Circs out of the Justice Department's VICAP, Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, during the mid-1980s. For years, Riggins and Dark and their colleagues hunted the worst monsters to ever scuttle across the face of the earth, and Dark was usually leading the hunt. Until one of the monsters struck back in the worst way imaginable. Dark had been raised by a loving foster family here in California. His new parents, Victor and Laura, thought they would never be able to conceive. They adopted Steve. Then soon after, Laura got pregnant. Twin boys. Still, they treated Steve no differently than his younger siblings. Years later, a forensic-proof killer who came to be known as Squeagle butchered Dark's foster family in the most brutal way Riggins had ever seen. Dark left Special Circs and crawled into seclusion. He only came out when Riggins forced him to, and together, in a grueling cross-country chase, they caught the maniac responsible. But at a terrible cost. During their final confrontation, Dark had lost his true love, his bedrock of sanity. His wife, Sibby. Now Dark was hunting the monsters on his own and trying to raise his 5-year-old daughter, Sibby, named for her mother. Dark hunted killers without a badge, without Riggins, without the support of the FBI, without any official sanction whatsoever. In its place, Dark had the clandestine support of a silent patron, with ultra-deep pockets and forensic gear that would be the envy of any law enforcement division in the world. This support allowed Dark to walk into any crime scene and do what he was born to do: catch the monster.